Welcome. My name is Andrew Barron, and this is Well, It Depends, the podcast where I present the pros and cons of different financial decisions so that you, the audience, feel better informed when you are confronted with these decisions in your own life. Well, It Depends is sponsored by my firm, John G. Ullman and Associates. We are a team of financial planners, research analysts, tax specialists, and support staff, all working together to give our clients a comprehensive experience. If, after listening, you'd like to discuss your situation with one of our financial planners, including me, please email info@jgua.com. In this episode, I asked the question, am I saving enough? But before we begin, a short disclaimer. This podcast is being recorded on November 29th, 2022. The contents of this podcast are strictly for informational purposes only, and nothing said should be taken as investment, tax, or legal advice. Any strategies discussed may not be suitable for the listener specifically, and so we strongly encourage consulting with your advisor before implementing any strategies to ensure they meet your individual objectives. Getting into it. Am I saving enough? Well, it depends. The first thing to focus on is having a sufficient emergency savings account. This means having 3 to 6 months of spending set aside and readily available. The reason we use this amount is because it's relative to the amount you make, and in the instance something were unfortunate to happen to you, it should give you enough time to bounce back and get back on your feet. For those starting out or who recently suffered an emergency, who drained their reserves, it's very important to rebuild this account. You should try and set aside 5 to 10% of your annual income to rebuild until you get to that 3 to 6 month threshold. The emergency savings account is the most important account to fund besides your primary banking account. This is because it is the pillar to personal finance. After you've established your emergency savings account, the next thing you'll want to focus on is funding your retirement at the sufficient level. The important things to focus on, especially initially, are that you're contributing at all and that you are consistently upping that number. So when you get bonuses and pay raises, you increase your contributions. If your employer offers a contribution matching plan, this is a great thing to take advantage of because it's essentially additional compensation. Ultimately, you want to get your savings goal to about 20 or 25% going towards retirement. For those looking to retire early, meaning before age 65, you may consider contributing even more than this. Great. Does this mean we're all set now? If I have emergency savings, I'm regularly contributing to retirement, and I have my debt under control? Well, it depends. As your income and assets grow, so do your goals and wants. So you'll need to take inventory and reprioritize. At the beginning of your career, you may not have had children, and perhaps down the line you do. So contributing to them or the next generation, grandchildren, may suddenly be something you want to save for. Again, lifestyle creep happens, and as your peers maybe do bigger and better things, you may want to imitate that. So, a second house, a new boat, a fancy car. These may be affordable for you, but you might still need to save for them. So, make sure that you're taking a big picture view and you're prioritizing everything. To recap, ultimately, there is a hierarchy of financial needs with your basic cash flow and emergency savings on the bottom and your ultimate dream retirement on the top. It's important not to skip steps, although some steps can be funded simultaneously, such as contributing to your emergency savings while also putting away for your retirement. It's important to consider what your needs and wants are now, but also what they may be in the future, especially as we get older, our needs and wants do change. So, to answer the question, am I saving enough? Well, it depends.